vast rocky slope opens in clear, deep water, gravel and boulders fading into blue darkness. Pebbles and boulders sit sharp in clear water, and gentle silt puffs drift across sand ripples. 4 to 5 giant grouper cruise near ledges, calm and untouched, with no gear anywhere in view. A leading grouper shows mottled armor-like skin, while the small school follows with slow, powerful fin beats.
Crew stages coil tubs and hauler controls, keeping hands clear while braided line feeds smoothly. Heavy circle hooks and swivels line the station, built for abrasion and deep, long-line pressure. Bait strips get rigged with consistent wraps, keeping presentation stable and reducing tangles during the set. Strict spacing stays enforced around rollers and pinch points, even as the deck stays wet and rolling.
Tall steel hull parts gray water, scuppers draining steadily as spray curls off heavy rub rails.
Branch lines coil into clean loops, preventing tangles when tension spikes later during heavy hauling cycles.
Landing gear and tank clamps get checked for load paths, keeping handling controlled when fish come aboard. Baited branch lines clip on and drop in steady cadence, keeping the set smooth and untangled at the stern.
Seabed ridges and gravel patches hold steady in clear water, building tension while the bottom stays undisturbed. The grouper school glides past an overhang, staying low and steady with no signs of capture. One giant grouper hovers over gravel, then turns and rejoins the school in calm, deep silence.
The set completes cleanly, and coil tubs stay organized for a safe and fast retrieval later.
The school crosses a narrow canyon cut, shadows deepening as slow fin beats push through cold water.
4 to 5 grouper glide along boulders, untouched, with clear water revealing every slow fin wave. Grouper silhouettes cross faint light shafts, then fade into darker water with no gear visible anywhere.
Night checks confirm tubs and lash points stay secure, keeping the system ready for hauling at first light.
Giant groupers drift toward bait above rocks, and a slack branch line begins to straighten in cold water. A small fish pecks first and darts away, and the hook swings while silt puffs rise and settle. One grouper crowds the bait zone, pushing smaller fish aside as the jaw flares open near the hook. The circle hook seats at the jaw corner, and tension transfers cleanly into leader and braided mainline. A hooked grouper surges and shakes hard, gravel dust lifting as visible swivels stay aligned under load. The grouper gets pulled off a ledge, twisting hard as silt blooms, and the leader stays fully tight.
The hauler turns at controlled speed, maintaining constant pressure so the hook stays seated during pulls.
A near-surface roll shows the jaw corner hook, as a taut leader line cuts through gray chop.
A sling supports the heavy body at the tuna door, keeping the hook visible and leader tight in spray.
Heavy thrash bursts hit wet mats, and rope control keeps distance while the fish stays fully contained. One grouper slides into the aerated tank under sling control, staying straight and stable with calm reel bubbles.
Fresh bait gets clipped and dropped again, keeping the system cycling smoothly in open ocean.
2 grouper approach bait near boulders, posturing low while smaller fish scatter from the zone. The hook seats at the jaw corner, and the leader tightens hard as the grouper powers away from rocks. A red ring jelly pulses slowly above gravel, adding calm contrast between hard hauling cycles. A 6-gill shark glides past at distance, steady and quiet, never approaching the bait zone. A small cluster of grouper cruises near a ridge, unhurried, with clear water revealing mottled patterns. Groupers drift beneath jellies, while distant shark and whale silhouettes pass calmly through deep blue.
Tank hoses and clamps get checked, keeping circulation steady and preventing slosh as the vessel rolls.
A grouper takes bait near rocks, and the leader snaps tight as the hook seats cleanly at the jaw corner.
A surface boil exposes the jaw corner hook, as a tight leader line slices foam beside steel plating.
Hauler rollers turn steadily, and braided line tracks cleanly into tubs, keeping the frame clear of any animals.
Two grouper close in together near adjacent hooks, and tension starts to build across two branch lines. A double hookup hits, and both jaw corner hooks seat as two leaders snap tight above the rocky bottom. Both hooked groupers surge low along gravel, silt plumes rising as swivels and chafe sleeves stay visible. Both hooked fish get dragged upward, twisting hard as leaders stay tight and hardware stays clearly visible. A hooked grouper thrashes just under the surface in a split-level shot, leader tight beside tall steel plating. Twin leaders cut through foam beside steel plating, and two jaw corner hooks show briefly in rough chop.
Twin landing brings two groupers to the tuna door, keeping hooks visible and leaders tight under heavy spray. Both fish thrash on wet mats, and rope control keeps movement contained while the deck stays disciplined. Two grouper slide into the aerated tank together, and real bubbles keep them separated in rolling seas.
Bait prep stays fast, and branch lines drop again while spray rises and the deck keeps rhythm.
Three grouper converge at once, and two leaders snap tight while a third misses and retreats into rocks. Two hooked groupers get dragged along bottom, gravel dust blasting as jaw corner hooks stay clearly visible.
Heavy chop slams the hull as twin leaders hold, and two jaw corner hooks flash through foam. One giant grouper lifts in a sling with tail rope control, staying natural and single-headed as the leader stays tight.
Thrashing intensifies on wet mats, and crew clears hooks safely while keeping strict spacing around pinch points.
Atolla pulses above sand ripples, and the calm glow contrasts with violent surface hauling, with calm pacing and natural movement only.
A distant whale silhouette crosses far above, adding scale while the rocky slope remains still below.
Hauler load increases, and crew adjusts speed smoothly, guiding line into tubs through heavier spray.
Another double hookup seats two jaw corner hooks, and silt erupts under tail kicks as leaders stay tight. Two hooked grouper get dragged across gravel, and visible chafe sleeves protect leaders under constant load. Twin leaders slice foam beside steel plating, and jaw corner hooks remain visible through the rough surface boil.
Twin landing continues in storm spray, keeping hooks visible and leaders controlled as the hauler holds tension. Multiple grouper thrash on mats, and crew clears hooks safely while keeping strict spacing around pinch points.
Several groupers slide into churning bubbles, staying separated while circulation keeps the tank stable in roll.
Rebaiting continues under storm spray, and branch lines drop again while the system cycles quickly.
A six-gill shark glides at distance, and the bottom scene stays calm without any chase or interaction. A triple moment builds fast, and two leaders lock tight as a third grouper retreats into shadowed rocks. Two hooked grouper thrash under heavy tension, silt clouds blooming while aligned swivels prevent twist. Storm chop slams the hull as twin leaders hold, and jaw corner hooks flash under swirling foam.
Twin hull hits the mats with hard thrashing, and sling control keeps bodies aligned and realistic.
Several groupers slide into bubbling water, and clamps close as hoses keep circulation steady in heavy roll.
Storm swell peaks and the hull drops, while scuppers pour water and the ship holds course. A final big take seats the hook at the jaw corner, and gravel dust blooms as the fish powers away.
The fish breaks near the surface, and the taut leader stays visible beside the hull through turbulent foam. A sling lifts the heavy body through the tuna door, hook visible, as controlled thrashing hits wet mats. Multiple fish lie straight on mats, and hooks get cleared quickly before clean transfers into the tank. Many grouper drift inside the aerated tank, bubbles churning as circulation keeps water moving in heavy roll.
Smaller rollers turn steadily, and braided line tracks cleanly into tubs, with calm lighting and no effects.
A jelly pulses in clear darkness near rocks, creating a brief calm beat between hauling surges.
Seas ease slightly, and the hull runs onward, scuppers draining as foam streaks aft in gray water.
Crew secures hooks and tubs, then checks tank clamps, preparing for clean processing without rushing.
A wide deck shows bubbling tanks holding many groupers, linking hard effort to controlled holding and safety.
Inside the tank, groupers circle slowly in bubbles, staying separated as circulation keeps oxygen steady.
Washdown clears slime and salt, and hooks get stowed safely to end hauling with disciplined cleanup.
Untouched grouper glide along the bottom, fading into blue haze as the rocky slope returns to calm.
The hull steadies in calmer swell, scuppers draining as the operation transitions from storm to recovery. Gear gets strapped and secured, tanks bubbling in the background as the crew resets the station.
The run ends with fish contained safely and the station tidy, setting up calm processing without rushing. Crew celebrates beside a piled catch of giant grouper, bodies aligned as gray seas roll behind the rail. A wide deck view shows stacked grouper and bubbling tanks, with tired crew raising fists briefly before work resumes.
Seawater hoses rinse fish surfaces, keeping bodies straight and the deck controlled and clean, with calm pacing and natural movement only.
Careful knife work opens and trims the catch, keeping cuts clean and the work calm and efficient.
Fish portions pack into ice slurry totes, and clamped lids lock in fast chilling for cold chain control. Insulated containers stack on pallets, and a sealed tote lifts cleanly with no labels or text visible.
Tools and deck get cleaned, and hoses coil away while open ocean spray stays visible beyond the rail. A full 150-meter steel vessel enters harbor toward the berth, shown wide in profile with calm port water behind.
Giant groupers lie on crushed ice at a large coastal market, showing size and freshness without clutter.
A vendor lifts a grouper carefully to show weight, then sets it back gently onto clean ice.
Buyers inspect by touch and nod, and coolers open and close as sales move quickly and quietly.
Fresh ice gets shoveled over the catch, and meltwater drains away while the display stays clean.
Fillets pack into coolers with ice, and lids close firmly to protect cold chain through busy market flow.
Hands exchange cash and a sealed bag, and the stall keeps moving with efficient, quiet transactions.
Market aisles thin as inventory drops, and men carry coolers way, signaling a rapid sell-through. Only a few portions remain on ice, and neat rearranging highlights how quickly the catch is moving. The last cooler closes after the final sale, and quiet nods mark a clean sellout finish. Sunburned fishermen hold thick bundles of cash and cheer at the market after the grouper sells out. Sunset light hits the waterfront as empty coolers move out, ending the day with calm, practical closure.
A clean, empty ice bed and stacked crates close the story, linking offshore discipline to a finished sellout.